Namaskar, hello and welcome to Sunset TV. I am Namrata Singh and you're watching Question Hour. This show focuses on questions raised by the members in both houses of parliament concerning matters of national interest. In the Rajya Sabha today, members from various parties posed questions related to 8 ministries and sought responses from their respective ministers. Similarly, in the Lok Sabha, members from various parties raised questions related to 11 ministries and sought responses from the respective ministers. Now, let's take a look at some of the questions asked by the members. Lok Sabha members Purushottam Bhai Rupala and Manish Jaiswal asked the Minister of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare the objectives and details of the central sector scheme of financing facility under the Agriculture Infrastructure Fund.
माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदय, किसान अन्नदाता है, वो अन्न के भंडार भरता है और अन्न जीवन देता है, इसलिए किसान जीवन दाता भी है। और कि हमारी सरकार का प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में एकमात्र लक्ष्य है किसान कैसे सुखी हो, उसकी समस्याओं का समाधान कैसे हो। माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदय, किसान की सेवा हमारे लिए भगवान की पूजा से बढ़कर है और इसी भाव से अनेकों उपाय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में ये सरकार अनेकों उपाय कर रही है। उनमें से एक उपाय है किसान का उत्पादन बढ़ाना। और मुझे बताते हुए प्रसन्नता है कि प्रधानमंत्री जी के प्रयत्नों के कारण देश के अन्न के भंडार भरे हैं। मुझे बताते हुए प्रसन्नता है माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदय कि आज कृषि विकास दर हमारी 4% के आसपास है, लेकिन अन्न के भंडार या फल और सब्जी के विपुल उत्पादन के बाद एक समस्या आती है और वो समस्या है उसके उचित भंडारण की। उचित भंडारण के अभाव में हम जानते हैं कि कई वर्षों तक दूसरी सरकार रही, लेकिन ना वेयर हाउस बने, ना राइपिंग सेंटर बने, ना कोल्ड स्टोरेज बने, ना ग्रेडिंग और साइटिंग की ठीक व्यवस्थाएं की गई। और जब प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने एक बहुत किसानों के हित में बड़ा कदम उठाया और वो था एग्रीकल्चर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर फंड बनाने का। मुझे बताते हुए खुशी है 1 लाख करोड़ रुपए की एग्रो इंफ्रा फंड की योजना प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी लेकर आए। और जैसा माननीय सदस्य किसान की सदस्य
माननीय मंत्री जी एड्रेस इधर करें।
पुरुषोत्तम रूपाला जी माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदय कृषि की समस्याओं को समझते उन्हें स्टेटस पूछा है। मैं आपको बताना चाहता हूं माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदय, इस योजना के अंतर्गत अब तक पूरे देश में जिनमें लगभग 31 राज्य सम्मिलित है, माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदय कुल मिला के 72,222 संरचनाएं जिनकी लागत 76,305 करोड़ रुपया है, ये पूरे देश में बनाई गई। ये मध्य प्रदेश हो, महाराष्ट्र हो, उत्तर प्रदेश हो, पंजाब हो, राजस्थान हो, आंध्र प्रदेश, तेलंगाना, कर्नाटक, गुजरात, हरियाणा, तमिलनाडु, पश्चिम बंगाल में भी बनाई गई है। छत्तीसगढ़ हो, उड़ीसा, केरल, बिहार, आसाम, झारखंड, जम्मू कश्मीर, हिमाचल, दिल्ली, गोवा, चंडीगढ़, त्रिपुरा, चारों तरफ भंडारण की उचित व्यवस्थाएं की जा रही है। और इसके कारण किसान को औने पौने दाम पे अपने उत्पाद को बेचना नहीं पड़ता। वो जब चाहता है कि कोल्ड स्टोरेज में रखे या वो वेयर हाउस में रखता है और उचित दाम मिलने पर बेचता है। ये किसान की खेती को फायदे का धंधा बनाने के लिए बहुत बड़ा कदम है माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदय, जिसका लाभ पूरे देश के किसान उठा रहे हैं।
Rajya Sabha member Kavita Patidar asked the Minister of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship The details of Skill India Digital Initiative and its objectives. The details of the benefits which a citizen could have using the SID. The Ministry in its reply informed the House that Skill India Digital Hub is a comprehensive digital platform designed to synergize and transform the skills, education, employment and entrepreneurship landscape in India. As the digital public infrastructure for skilling, education, employment and entrepreneurship, SIDH serves as a comprehensive information gateway for all government initiatives in these domains, making it a go-to hub for citizens pursuing career advancement and lifelong learning. The primary objectives of SIDH include facilitating digital access to skill development, integrating the skilling ecosystem, enhancing employability and entrepreneurship, promoting lifelong learning, serving as an information gateway, and leveraging data-driven decision-making. SIDH is one of the most important DPI for India's skill development, education, employment and entrepreneurship landscape, as it provides a foundational digital ecosystem that supports and integrates various public and private stakeholders. The platform aligns with the vision articulated in the G20 outcome document for building DPIs. SIDH provides recognized certifications to enhance credibility and employability, connects job seekers with employers and job opportunities, and promotes continuous learning and upskilling. SIDH plays a crucial role in preparing the Indian workforce for Industry 4.0 by offering futuristic courses on big data, machine learning and analytics, to name a few, provided by its digital learning partners. Industry 4.0 course such as Python with advanced and foundational artificial intelligence, generative AI, build classical machine learning models with supervised learning, data analytics essentials, analytics data in a relation data warehouse, cybersecurity essentials, introduction to data science and other certification courses are also offered on the platform. It seeks to provide access to industry-relevant skill courses, job opportunities and entrepreneurship support. It aims to bridge the skill gap across different regions and communities, ensuring inclusive growth and equitable access to opportunities. SIDH also supports aspiring entrepreneurs by providing resources, training and support to help them start and grow their businesses successfully, thereby contributing to overall economic and social development of the country. Rajya Sabha MP Anil Kumar Yadav Mandadi asked the Minister of Health and Family Welfare whether the government has deferred the NEET UG counselling without announcing any new date.
So the question pertains to the commencement of the NEET UG 24 counselling, for which we have already announced that the first round of counselling will begin on the 14th of August, and as per the Supreme Court's order, we will be holding the counselling in 4 rounds. So the registrations are already starting in the first week, and then 4 rounds we will carry it on. I would like to apprise the House of the dates also. First round will be from 14th August till 23rd of August.
You said so.
Second round would be 15th September till 13th September. Third round would be 26th September to 5th October. And fourth round would be 16th October till 24th October. Sir, NTA, as you know, falls under the Ministry of Education. Insofar as the allegations of paper leaks are concerned, sir, the Supreme Court judgment has already come to us, and the House, every member is well aware of the Supreme Court judgment. And I would only like to assure through you, the honourable member, that this government is committed to the best interests of the students, and whatever needed will be done by the government.
Rajya Sabha member R. Dharmar asked the Minister of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution the features of the public distribution scheme, whether government has taken initiatives to raise awareness about benefit of millets among consumers. steps being taken by government to increase the production and productivity of millets across the country. The ministry in its reply informed the House that targeted public distribution system has been implemented under the National Food Security Act 2013 in all states or union territories. The Act covers up to 75% and 50% of rural and urban population under priority households and Antyodaya Anna Yojana. With effect 1st January 2023, food grains under the Act are being distributed to eligible beneficiaries free of cost under Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Ann Yojana. It operates under joint responsibility of central and state governments. The central government is responsible for procurement, allocation and transportation of food grains to designated depots of Food Corporation of India. The operational responsibilities, including the identification of eligible beneficiaries or families, issuance of ration cards, distribution of food grains to eligible beneficiaries, and supervision and monitoring of fair price shops, etc., rests with concerned state or union territory governments. The ministry also informed the House of steps taken to increase the production and productivity of millets. A submission on nutri-cereals has been implemented under National Food Security Mission in all districts across 28 states and 2 union territories, Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. Under NFSM nutri-cereals, incentives are provided to farmers through the states or union territories on crop production and protection technologies, cropping system-based demonstrations, production and distribution of certified seeds of newly released varieties or hybrids, integrated nutrients and pest management techniques, improved farm implements, tools or resource conservation machineries, water-saving devices, capacity building of farmers through trainings during cropping season, organizing events or workshops, distribution of seed mini kits, publicity through print and electronic media, among others. Lok Sabha MP Bhartrihari Mehtab asked the Minister of Commerce and Industry whether the government is considering settling production-linked incentive claims on a quarterly basis instead of annually, and what are the eligibility criteria for companies to apply for the production-linked incentive scheme under this reopened window. He also asked the details of the impact on white goods after reopening the application windows.
Speaker sir, the member has asked a very pertinent question regarding the public-linked incentive scheme, which is a very ambitious scheme of this government. And the member has asked what is the criteria on which basis this scheme incentives are given. So I'd like to inform through you to him and the House that the PLI scheme, those entities are chosen which are champions in this sector. We are looking at making domestic champions as well as international companies who are multinationals across the globe to come and invest here and set up manufacturing units in India and create jobs. So we are looking at their investment potential. We are looking at their job creation opportunities that they bring to the table. We look at their technology transfer. These are the certain criteria which are looked at when a PLI scheme is given to a particular company. And the other issue that the member has raised as to whether there will be any changes in the mid-course, I would like to inform him that there will be no changes in any scheme once it is reopened for a particular reason. But only thing that will happen, and even till the tenure of the scheme will remain the same. Like I said, there is no change in the scheme. So once the scheme is reopened, the rules, the conditions remain same. And as far as what the member has asked, what benefits do accrue, of course, we are looking at technology transfer. Why we've reopened a particular scheme in a particular ministry of the PLI scheme? Because we see a buoyancy in the market. We are getting enough investment. People are lining up to set up manufacturing units. There is technology transfer, there is job creation, there is employment. There are other MSMEs, subsidiaries, which gain traction because of industry being set up. So all these are reasons why we are welcoming it, and we are ensuring that mid-course we are opening up PLI schemes.
Lok Sabha MP Adhikari Deepak Dev asked the Minister of Agriculture and Farmers' Welfare the manner in which rising temperatures and changing precipitation patterns are affecting the agricultural productivity in the country, the details of adaptive measures being taken by the government to address the above issue. The ministry in its reply informed the House that integrated computer simulation modelling studies revealed that in the absence of adaptation measures, climate change projections with respect to changes in temperature and precipitation are likely to reduce rain-fed rice yields by 20% in 2050 and 47% in 2080 scenarios, while irrigated rice yields by 3.5% in 2050 and 5% in 2080 scenarios, wheat yield by 19.3% in 2050 and 40% in 2080 scenarios, Kharif maize yields by 18 to 23% in 2050 and 2080 scenarios. Soybean yields are projected to increase by 3 to 10% in 2030 and 14% in 2080 scenarios. To mitigate weather-related challenges in the country, the ministry informed that it implements the National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture. NMSA consists of 3 major components: rain-fed area development, on-farm water management, and soil health management. RAD focuses on integrated farming system for enhanced productivity and reduced risks associated with climatic variability, and also to mitigate the impacts of extreme weather events like drought and flood. Centrally sponsored scheme of per drop more crop for enhanced water use efficiency has also been implemented at farm level through micro irrigation systems. Soil health management focuses on improvement in soil health for climate resiliency, and ICAR through NICRA promotes climate resilient technologies in agriculture which address vulnerable areas of the country, and the outputs of the project help the districts and regions prone to extreme weather conditions like droughts, floods, frost, heat waves, etc. Rajya Sabha MP Dr. Anil Sukhdev Rao Bonde asked the Minister of Finance the total number of foreign branches and other operations of public sector banks abroad at present.
जहाँ तक बैंकों के क्रियाकलापों का सवाल है कि बैंक शुरू करने से या बंद करने का बहुधा व्यावसायिक आधार पर तय किया जाता है, और व्यावसायिक आधार पर लाभ हानि का निर्णय करने के पश्चात तय प्रक्रिया का पालन होता है। इसमें बैंक बोर्ड की अनुमति लेता है, RBI की अनुमति लेता है तथा आवश्यकता सरकार की और विदेश संस्थाओं की अनुमति ली जाती है। जहाँ तक माननीय सदस्य ने कहा है कि विदेशों में शाखा बढ़ रही है या घट रही है, अगर आप देखें तो प्रत्यक्ष विदेशी जो शाखा थी वो 2014 में 68 थी और 2024 में 99 हुई, कम हुई है। लेकिन अगर सब्सिडरी या जॉइंट वेंचर शाखाएं देखें तो 359 शाखाएं जो पहले थी वो 543 हुई हैं, और प्रतिनिधि कार्यालय अगर देखें तो 33 थी वो 11 हुई हैं। कुल मिला के 560 शाखाएं पहले थीं और 644 शाखाएं अब हो गई हैं। और जहां तक बिजनेस का सवाल है, अगर देखें तो 2000 में जहां हमारी इन सभी शाखाओं ने 11,36,145 करोड़ का बिजनेस किया था, और 2024 में आज 17,68,083 करोड़ का बिजनेस किया है।
Well, that is all I have for you in this edition of Question Hour. Stay tuned to Sansad TV and thanks for watching.